Good afternoon, friends. In today's section, I wish to discuss about Aphorism 21 to Aphorism 24. In Aphorism 21, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, the founder and the father of homeopathy, discuss or teach us that when we think about the medicine, we can see there is nothing curative or nothing curable in the medicine, but we can only see that there is only nothing but the power of the medicine to alter the normal health state into an artificial morbid state. And can we observe? And you see that this power, the power of the drug to alter the normal, vital or existing nature of a drug or a nature of a medicine becomes the curative power of the drug. He says that it is unobjectionable, that is, we cannot resist it or we cannot deny it, that the therapeutic power of medicines are not itself understandable till we can understand it by the experimentation, that is the drug proving. We can't get something in the drug which make its medicine or remedy by but as I said, we can't get anything, but we can only get the power of the property of the drug which can alter the normal human state of health. We can get this definite morbid symptom, the definite unhealthy, definite derangeable, definite bad symptoms in which the drug act as remedy by experimenting in healthy human individual. That's we can only understand when a drug or what are the diseases which a drug can cure is only by employing it in a healthy human being. Whatever the symptoms it artificially produced in a healthy human being or healthy vital state, the same symptoms can be removed by the drug during the process of treatment. The morbid or the power of drug which inside the drug to make alteration to the normal vital force which guard us to the internal or which guard us for ever time is this power, this drug force, this power of the force is lead us to the internal curative power of the drug. We know that for creating a morbid signs and symptoms in vital force, we needs a force which is similar to the vital force. That is, this vital force is a spiritual force. So, if there is a spiritual manifestation which can violate, which can causes derangement to the normal existence of vital force, that is disease force which produces the disease. So, when we use a drug, what makes this artificial symptoms, artificial disease symptoms? It is nothing but the vital force of the drug substance. The vital force of the drug substance causes derangement to the vital force which produces the symptoms which we needed or which produce the artificial symptoms which they can cure in their potentized or dynamized state. In the aphorism number 22, we see that Dr. Samuel Hahnemann says, for removing the disease or cure a disease, we should consider the totality of symptoms. When we consider the totality of symptoms, we should also know what is the curative power or what is the alteration tendency of the drug which we have. When we make a similism, when we make a similar chart or when we make a comparison between the alternative or artificial symptoms produced by the drug administration in healthy individual with whatever the symptoms that we are collect as a totality of symptoms, then we can cure it in a perfect way. He says that medicine becomes remedy only if we administer it with the disease symptoms which is similar or opposite to the drug symptom produced by drug during proving. That's he says. Here he says about the other two prevailing system which was existed during the birth of homeopathy and which was completely eradicated and extincted now, which are isopathy and antipathy. Isopathy is nothing but similar suffering. They treat the disease with the similar kind of drugs. And antipathy, they treat the disease in an opposite way, which will be more suitable. There's a question. And the following footnote, he says that the other possible mode of employing medicines for disease beside these two is the allopathic method. Now, when we think about the antipathy, isopathy, homeopathy and allopathy and homeopathy are somewhat good. Apart from them, allopathy is somewhat also similar to the homeopathy, but they are not perfectly curing. Even though they are not curing, they can even do the suppression and palliation. The isopathy and antipathy, they cannot even cure. Even though they tried their best in the course time, they cannot even cure. In somewhere, in a distinct manner, some cures will be possible, but it is not a perfect treatment, perfect method of treatment. Dr. Hahnemann says that if the drug produce headache, that is, if a drug, when we administer a drug to a person, and it produces a headache in the left side with the edematic condition, a stitching pain, and with a concomitant symptom or with an associated symptom of redness in eyes, then this disease, this drug can remove the exact symptoms which is going to be depicted to us by a subject or a patient. And in the footnote, Dr. Hahnemann says that nor the opposite nor the similar, or when we consider these two, we should go to a heterogeneous method or heterogeneous way to collect the symptoms of the drug and symptoms of the disease in a correlating way to make the cure possible. For the purpose of the cure, the morbidly depressed vital energy possesses so little ability worthy of limitation, since all charges and symptoms produced by it in the organism are the disease itself. What intelligent physician would want to imitate it with the intention to heal if he did not thereby sacrifice his patient? That is, in this section we see it's end with a question mark. So Hahnemann says that the patient is already suffering. For the cure of the physician should choose a path which is gentle, permanent and ideal. Then only it will make a perfect cure. Otherwise we will lose the patient. We also know what happened when we go for a suppression cases. That is, we described in the aphorism number 23. All pure experience, we can only the experience become the mother of knowledge. The experience produces the knowledge or the wisdom which we can use in later. Also in all researches we see that when we use an opposite symptom or when we use a drug which possesses the opposite symptom that the patient narrated, it will destroy the disease, or it will cause a state of cure, state of well-being for a short time. After the short time, the same symptoms, the same disease force which is suppressed, not cured, not removed, which is suppressed, will manifest outside as a strong symptom which is more dangerous to the vital force to withstand. That's why when we arrest or when we suppress a complaints of the upper respiratory tract, that is some kind of sneezing, rhinitis, such conditions, after a small time this will result in lower respiratory tract infection, and if we suppress it also, then it will leads to some cause of RA problems, rheumatoid arthritic problems. And soon when we suppress, when we going through the same procedure of suppression, it will cause us to the cerebral problems, and which will soon leads to the death of the patient. That's loss of the patient. So we should employ the method of treatment which can take the life of the patient into an exact path, into the exact method, into the exact route which it was before. For that, what we have to do? In the aphorism number 24 and in 24, there remains therefore no other mode of employing medicine in disease that promotes to be service besides the homeopathic. That is, when we consider all other systems, that is isopathy, antipathy, allopathy, apart from this, the permanent or perfect cure we can object or we can aim from homeopathy only. That is, when we take the totality of symptoms of a case of disease and we select the medicine from the old medicine, as we have a lot of medicine, we select an individual remedy for the patient or an indicated medicine for the patient whose pathogenic effects are known, whose drug effect are known, and for having been tested in healthy. That's the pathogenic effect or the morbid sign producing effect of a drug can be seen only by drug proving, and which we can observe in every drug. And when we compare these symptoms, the power or the if a drug possesses the power and the tendency to produce an artificial morbid state, artificial unhealthy state, which exhibit as an artificial unhealthy symptoms, artificial morbid signs and symptoms, which is similar to the signs and symptoms depicted by the patient, then that medicine cures the disease permanently, without any question. In the 25th aphorism, we see that now, however, in all careful trials, pure experience, we see that the similar medicine, that is, in this case also we can see the use of similar medicine. The aphorism number 25 also, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann describes about the need of or the use of similar medicine. In the 25th aphorism, I am continuing my section. The 25th aphorism, we see that when we administer Samuel Hahnemann says that when in all careful trials with the pure experience of true act or true nature of healing art, which teach us that the similar symptoms, the drug which has the power to produce similar symptoms which are observable in the case of our disease, in the case of the subject, will under treatment will completely cure, or it will not leave nothing uncured. Also, by collecting the totality of symptoms, by this we can get the suitable potency and the repetition through which, or the method through which, we can completely and permanently remove the totality of the morbid signs and symptoms and the morbid state itself, that is the whole disease, or in other word we can say that change the disease into health. In the footnote, Samuel Hahnemann says that by the word of pure experience, he doesn't mean that the experience which is possessed by the allopaths, even though they have years or lifetime practical experience in their system, which is a mischievous art of curing system, or mischievous system of art of cure. They can't understand. They always sees the systemic pathology. They always see something. They try to dream that they could dictate in the disease some imaginary unhealthy factor or mischievous factor to them, so which the disease is produced, and they always saw something in them but knew not what it was they saw. They can't understand what they are seeing. They know there is something. They know something derangement. They know something. They all know. They have the brain. They know there is something derangement, but they will not ready to accept it as what Samuel Hahnemann described, or it as we are talking. They are not ready to accept it. They know there is something, but they don't know what it is, which can only be understood by a person who is in the light of the truth provided by the God himself. I think this video will be helpful for you in understanding Aphorism 21 to 25th in a good way. In the law part, or in the last section of Aphorism 23, we see in a bracket that we want to see from the Aphorism 58 to 62 and 69. In these aphorisms, Samuel Hahnemann's text definitely or permanently talking about the antipathy. Antipathy, that's the opposite opposite suffering system. In this we see that the antipathic system, how it is not working. What if when we administer an opposite remedy to a drug, we know that in 23rd aphorism he clearly says that it will suppress the disease, how it is get suppressed, and how it is getting exhibited as a more dangerous and more aggravated state of the disease in the next stage. These all are explained in this for aphorisms. And in the case of 25th aphorism, we can see, we have to see from aphorism 6 to aphorism 16. This from the aphorism 6 to 16, we see from the totality of the symptoms to the drug force, or to the drug force, or to the spiritual force or spiritual power of which can animates the vital, which is known as the vital force, and which can causes the disease, how it is cured. These are explained from the 6th to 16th aphorism. On the light of, without the light of a perfect knowledge, without the light of a perfect explanation, there will not be a logic, and these are the logics which are explained in these sections. As in the aphorism 23rd, he is clearly, or in a clear-cut manner, he says that when we suppress a symptom, it will produce a more dangerous diseases, which is known as antipathic systems, the reason of failure of antipathic system. And how it will occur, it is described in the aphorism 58 to 62 and in the aphorism number 69. In case of aphorism 6 to aphorism 16, we see the totality of symptom, principal acting force, what is the need of totality of symptom, what is the power of totality of symptom, how can we cure by it, what is exactly the disease, how the disease is produced, what is life, what is the life force, how the disease can be cured, what is the exact nature of disease. These are described in the aphorism 6 to 16. Only by this basis we can say that whatever we see, the similar kind of drug, or whatever we see, if a drug possesses the power to manifest the human's normal internal environment, that is the drug force or the vital force of the drug substance, which can manifest the vital force of the human form to produce a artificial symptoms. If the artificial symptoms produced by the drug in the human being, in a healthy human being, in a healthy vital force, is similar to the symptoms produced, the symptoms provided by the case or subject to us, to the physician, then that drug will cure the disease. Also by connecting the totality of symptom, also by knowing the each and every need and power of the drug, including their duration of action, including their power of action, including their strong and strength to violate the vital force, we can decide the dose, repetition and such things, which will permanently remove the morbid factor, which will permanently remove the totality of symptoms, that is the permanently remove the disease, that is, it will permanently causes the cure. I think this video will be helpful for you to understand from Aphorism 21 to 25, including their footnotes. If you please read the Organon of Medicine, the book. Please like, subscribe, comment and share this video to your friends, those who need the help, and write your comments about this video to me, also your suggestions. Thank you.